Thanks for tuning in to a special late-night episode of the MMA Podcast. It's past midnight. It's June 20th, 2013. It's a Wednesday. It's a Thursday. I don't even know what the fuck it is. We got a bunch to talk about. We actually had a Bellator card, Bellator 96. That was tonight. Featured a few notable people. You had King Mo versus Seth Petrozelli on the main card, Hanato Sobral on the co-main card. You also had War Machine on the main card. Definitely want to talk about that. Want to briefly talk about the debut of the show Fight Master, Bellator's answer to Tough. We also had UFC 161, which we won't spend much time on at all because it sucked ass. And, of course, news, all that jazz. Thanks for tuning in. I don't even know what number episode this shit is. Let's do it.
We did it for the love of the game. We did it, mama. I did it for. Yes, sir. Mama, the game will never be the same. We did it, mama. I did it for.
You're listening to the MMA Podcast with Jake and Chris.
And thank you for tuning in to the MMA Podcast, episode number 48. Like Jimmy Johnson or Torrey Hunter, 48, a pretty big number in sports. What the fuck is going on? Thanks for listening. If you want to follow us on Twitter, the MMA Podcast. If you want to call in, that number is 213-457-3380, or Skype us at the MMA Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We actually, for the first time, we took calls before the show to sort of get the formalities out of the way. We do have quite a few people on the call. I think right now that number's up to 7. So we got a lot of people to weigh in on shit, cocksuckers. First, though, I got a shout out to MMA Mental. They're doing awesome things. Visit MMAmental.com. Ray, Jay, Brooks, Patrick, they all do fine work. Jay with the Early Stoppage Podcast. It's pretty much the MMA Mental show is pretty much an interview podcast, and they literally get 7 or 8 interviews a week from UFC guys to European fight org promoters. They really get a lot of people on, and you get the full realm of the sport. Check them out. Check out MMAVictor.com. And thanks again for listening in. This show, it's been every Wednesday. We've sort of had a crazy schedule, but what hasn't had a crazy schedule, the Word on the Street podcast. Catch that shit every Tuesday and Thursday. I also show up on that, as do most of the callers on tonight's call. Last night we had Jennifer Bonjean on, who's a lawyer pushing for MMA legalization in the state of New York. We do it with Coach Jamie Huey. Follow him on Twitter, Coach Jamie Huey. And Ramses, tell us about the goddamn Word on the Street, cocksucker.
Look, all you need to know is that eventually, I know you're sitting out there, you have a happy life, but eventually your wife's gonna leave you. Those kids, they're gonna move out. They're not gonna love you anymore. If you have a girlfriend, guess what? She's thinking of somebody else eventually. Nothing is forever. Nothing is permanent. But the one thing you can fucking count on is the Word on the Street. So follow me on Twitter, The Aunt Jimmy Show. Thank you.
Damn, a pretty dark message from the Word on the Street today. We also have, actually, he just called in, Yao the Truth. What's up, Yao? We'll, for order, we'll slot you in after Ramses and before Allen. What is going on, Yao? Where can we follow you on Twitter?
Hey, what's up, guys? Yep, you can follow me on Twitter at Yao_the truth.
Fuck yeah, follow that man. He is an amateur fighter, and he will be fighting July 20th at Grappler's Quest. We can't wait a month from today. It's official. It's 12/16. The countdown, 30 days until Yao kicks some ass at Grappler's Quest. We also have, from the mean streets of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Alan Hamilton. What's going on?
What's up, guys? You can catch me, Westland Eagle H on Twitter. That's it. No
Westland Eagle AH?
Yep.
Or just H? Okay, I didn't hear the A, probably because I'm really, really high.
And my thick southern accent.
Yo, thick, buttery southern accent. Ross, what's going on? He's the best Jew in the business. Where can we follow your ass?
You can get me on Twitter at Ross Finkelstein, E before the L. Spell it very Jewishly. I'm making posters. I'm taking souls. Follow me.
He takes souls on the word on the street pod, and he was down on his luck in last night's game, and somehow was able to retain the belt.
I was napping.
He was fucking napping, ladies and gentlemen.
That was
And
more
actually-
epic and unscripted. Like the NBA game, like
Yeah, it was
people
going
were
on
like,
at about
oh
the
man,
same time.
what happened on my podcast with Ross Finkelstein coming back from nothing to win the whole damn thing was more epic because it was real. We're on the street.
Exactly.
On the street. And if you do follow him on Twitter, Ross Finkelstein before the L, and you notice those posters over on the left-hand side, he's not just copying and putting those up. He made those shits. Check them out. They're goddamn good, and he's going to be in the business someday soon. We also got Ali calling up. He also you have an MMA fight scheduled yet, Ali?
Oh no, not right now. I'm just focusing on wrestling, high school wrestling right now. Just on the quest to become a state champ.
He's on the quest to become a goddamn state champ. Then he's gonna go to college, be a national champ. Then he's gonna be a world champ in the UFC. Cocksuckers. What is going on, and where can we find you on Twitter?
Archer432. If you want to talk MMA, wrestling, Muay Thai, anything, follow me.
Speaking of wrestling, we gotta save that shit. We gotta get it back in the Olympics. I think it's possible. We also have someone who hasn't been on the show yet, so kind of tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you going to school? Are you training? What the fuck do you do? You're on Twitter at Phony Chris, Phony Chris, spelled pretty much like it sounds. What the fuck's going on, buddy?
Nothing much, basically same thing as Ali. During the summer, just working out, trying to become state champ.
Awesome.
Fuck yeah, we got a couple future state champs. And of course, last but certainly not least, he scared the shit out of us by throwing someone down a ladder before the show or something. It's Gavin Frost. Where can we find you on Twitter, man?
It's at Gavin Frost 361.
At Gavin Frost 361. If you didn't think this call was crazy enough, I don't even know if this is going to work or if it's all just going to come crashing down. It's an 8-person. Now we got a 9th person. We got Chris. Chris, you will be my anchor. Every topic you'll speak after the infamous Gavin Frost. What the fuck's going on, Chris? The original host, my baby's daddy. How are you doing?
I am doing spectacular, man. Just looking forward to working with y'all and having some fun.
Yeah, we got 9 fucking people. This is a goddamn record, cocksuckers. We're definitely going to have some unique MMA opinions. We don't even have a run sheet going yet. We're doing it informal as fuck. And we're going to start off with that Bellator card. Bellator in 96. Really quickly, let me get a one-word answer because there's 9 of us, and if we just said a sentence, it's going to take fucking forever. Did any of you guys catch Bellator tonight? Ramses?
No. Yeah. I'm watching it right now, the replay. War Machine just won.
Yao?
Nope.
Alan?
Watching it as we speak.
Watching it as we goddamn speak. Ross?
I caught some of it, so no.
Fuck yeah. Ali?
Yep.
Phony Chris, which it actually works out because he is Phony Chris on Twitter and he is the second Chris on the show, so we will call him Phony Chris.
No, sir.
Phony Chris didn't catch it. Gavin, did you catch that shit?
No.
No, Jesus Christ, nobody was watching this shit. Chris?
Yeah, man, watched it live.
Alright, so I probably should have counted that, but Chris watched it, I watched it, Alan watched it. Who else watched it?
Ali.
Ali watched it, and nobody else watched it?
I watched a little of it.
Alright, well, we'll just touch on the major points then. Fucking War Machine wins his fight, I think via first round KO about 4 minutes in. And everyone can chime in because you didn't really need to watch tonight to answer this, but alright, there's fucking John Copenhaver, War Machine, whatever the fuck you want to call him. Is he a legitimate threat at welterweight? I mean, is this a guy you look at as a sideshow, as that dude you know for serving lots of time in jail and putting up crazy racist shit on his blog and then coming out and... I mean, is he the real deal, or is he a sideshow, basically? Ramses?
Well, I just watched the fight. I'm watching the replay right now, Bellator. He whooped this dude's fucking ass. This is actually, I gotta admit, the first time I've ever seen War Machine fight, but he got him in the fucking crucifix. It was kind of odd that, like, you know, he didn't go for, like, knockout blows. Maybe something's fucked up with his hand, but he couldn't knock the man out. It was a TKO. But no, he definitely whooped ass. So, from what I've seen, he'll probably win his, well, he's a threat. Yes.
Yeah. What's the fucking truth?
The truth is, I didn't even know that Bellator was on tonight. The only person I really know from Bellator is Michael Chandler, and I don't know what you guys are talking about. So just get me.
Will do. Alan?
He looked all right. I wasn't overly impressed. Like Ramsey said, he got the guy on the crucifix, but the guy he was fighting wasn't anywhere near the size or shape as him. So I'm thinking once he gets in there with like a big time fighter, he'll probably get schooled.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same. I really want to see him step in against a banger like fucking Paul Daly or someone. Actually, I want to see a bar fight between Daly and Copenhaver. Ross?
He's a bum. War Machine is just a complete bum. He's a convict porn star who's always been a bum in the cage, and he'll never be good, and he'll never win anything. And no, he's not elite. He looked like shit in his fight that I just watched just now on Spike. I mean, yeah, sure, he beat up a bum, but that, to me, is not impressive. He definitely can't beat Ben Askren. Ben Askren would completely destroy him with takedowns over and over and over again. So yeah, he's a bum.
He's a goddamn bum, according to Ross. Ali, what do you think about War Machine?
It was a pretty good fight for him. He fought about a lower C-rank fighter, so, the win was pretty easy for him. Is he a legitimate threat at the welterweight division at Bellator? I don't know. I got to see him fight like Douglas Lima, Ben Askren first. If he beats Ben Askren, he gets the title, but I think definitely the second best is Douglas Lima.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we were going to see Douglas Lima and Ben Saunders fight each other on July 31st, but just about a week ago, it was announced Lima had to pull out of the bout due to an injury. But that's still going to be a decent card. Yow's boys, Michael Chandler is going to be defending his belt against David Rickles, as will Ben Askren against Andrei Koreshkov. The light heavyweight championship between Muhammad Lawal and Jacob No, a Pitbull Fury fight. It'll be an interesting card. Phony Chris, what do you think about War Machine? Is Phony Chris still with us? I think Phony Chris may have. Looks like both of them dropped out. Shit.
Yep.
Huh. All right. Well, whatever the fuck it takes. Oh, it looks like Jesus Christ.
The show must go on.
Just
Our
wow.
numbers are dwindling.
Just like that, the show went from 9 to 5. Looks like Gavin dropped out, Ali dropped out, Phony Chris dropped out, somebody else dropped out who I can't even tell who it was. But, we're back to the original 6 motherfuckers, so let's wrap it up with the anchor. The man I call Dad, Chris Lowe.
I'm your daddy. Yeah, I think War Machine, you know what, man, he's had natural talent his whole career. I mean, he was hyped up to be like the next big thing. He started training, I think, when he was like 11 or something like that, something crazy. I think he is a threat in Bellator, for sure, but, I mean, what the hell does that even matter? I mean, it's Bellator, for Christ's sake. Ross brought up a good point. Askren destroys him. I think that the only other person, or the only other 2 people in the division that Bellator has to offer him that could actually do any good would be Ben Saunders and Douglas Lima. And who's that French dude that fought Askren recently that got his ass whooped?
Amasu.
Yeah,
Carl
Amasu. Yeah, that would be a good fight too. But yeah. So is he a threat? Kinda. Oh.
Kinda. And I do think we are at 6 and told our boy King Ying he would call in later. The Skype call just crashed a minute ago. I think I'm going to cut off the calls, at least for now. Skype can only handle so much, and when you start dealing with like 9 people, it gets a little scatterbrained. But, all right, before I move on, Henanto Sobral got his ass kicked. King Mo beat up Seth Petrozelli. There's really nothing much to talk about there other than King Mo's better than Seth Petrozelli, which I think we all knew. I actually thought about betting on Petrozelli only because he was like a 15-1 dog, but I'm glad I didn't. And obviously, Sobral, he's getting older. He has a lot of fights under his belt. But let's get back to War Machine really quick. I think we've talked about it on the Word on the Street pod before, if you've ever seen a crazy bar fight. But what is the closest you've actually been to yourself being involved in a bar fight, Ramses?
Oh yeah, this one's easy. People try to test me all the time, but the only time I've ever been like struck in a bar was by a woman. It was like, oh Jesus Christ, I won't say her name. Let's just call her Samantha. So Samantha is a friend of mine from high school. We end up, we all go to college in Austin. We try to meet up whenever. I was trying to get laid this particular night, but she wanted to hang out, just touch base. She's a friend of mine. Nothing more than that. So I was like, oh, I'm feeling sick. I'm not going downtown. But of course I did go downtown to meet this other skank. So I'm in the bar, and who comes up to me? Samantha. And she right away, no ifs, ands, or buts. She's like, you lied to me. And then she slaps me in the fucking face as hard as she can in front of everybody. Like people were just staring, man. And it's like, of course I'm not gonna hit anybody. I was just like, oh, I'm sorry. I just walked right out of the bar because, I could see the handlers, the fucking bouncers or whatever, they were already eyeing me. But, I got slapped in the face. I just walked out of there, didn't say a goddamn word. That's the closest I've ever been to an actual bar fight. I was slapped in the face by a woman, and I took it like a little bitch.
God damn, that's a semi-depressing story. Yao, we all know you're fucking out in the streets selling yayo, looking for fights, fucking beating up on crack whores, fucking, what is the closest you've been to getting in a fight or just a bar fight? I would say a bar fight, but you aren't 21 yet, so that's not really fair. But what is the closest you've been to being in a real fucking street fight?
I've honestly never even been close to fighting in the street. I know it sounds boring and cheesy, but it's the truth.
It's Yao the truth, ladies and gentlemen. It's like, fuck it now. Every time Yao says that, and that's the truth, I gotta go Yao the truth. Just like MMA Mental. Which, sidebar, I was alone in my fucking house on like Sunday, and I was like watching soccer or something, and they're like, yeah, it really takes a lot of mental aptitude to be a goalie. And I was like, MMA Mental Aptitude, like audibly. Yes.
God bless Sugar Ray.
God bless Sugar Ray Thompson. Who's next? Alan? Is Alan still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm sorry. I had to get back to the app to unmute myself. I think I've told this story before on the Word on the Street, where it was, obviously I get into fights at work, but the only serious one that I've had like in a bar was where I was 19. This was probably almost 10 years ago, and I decided to go talk to this lonely Asian chick that was sitting at the bar table by herself on the wall. And, I'm a little college kid, whatever. She's alone. She's cute. I want to talk to her. I go sit right next to her. I'm talking to her. whatever. She's enjoying it. She definitely didn't tell me to leave. And all of a sudden, I get confronted by like 10 fucking Vietnamese dudes all getting mad at me because I'm hitting on their little sister, you know. And all these guys are older than me. They're all like 23, 24, you know, fucking never went to school. And me being the little college kid at the time, you know, I'm like, hey, bro, I don't want any, you know, part of this or whatever. So one of the dudes pulls his shirt up, flashes a gun, and me and my friends leave. So that was about the, you know, only problem I've ever had in a bar.
For fucking sure, yeah. Being in a bar, it's a crazy thing. Yo, I'm trying to think personally. The closest I got to being in a fight, it was actually probably at work. As funny as that is, I was working with. I guess I shouldn't say the team. I was working with an NFL team doing game day operations. Jesus Christ. Like, I tweeted you guys, stop calling. These guys have literally called like 6 times a piece. But no, I was working for an NFL team, and we were walking like pretty much from point A to point B was halfway around the stadium. So we figured we would just walk down the concourse where everybody is. So we take a stairway down. We're walking down the concourse filled with drunk people. I mean, the fact that, you know, they serve alcohol at these NFL games. You got so many people who got loaded before the game, keeping themselves loaded during the game, and we're obviously. I almost said the team name. We're obviously employees of this team because we're wearing lanyards and we have shirts, you know, the logo and our name or a little tag and everything. And these drunk dudes walk up to me and my coworker, who's literally like 5'1", 100 pounds. She's tiny, and they're like loud and obviously drunk. And they literally think we're like, you know, they know we work for this team, and they're like, "Hey man, why does this team suck?" Because we were in a doldrum, definitely. This team fucking sucks. Why do we fucking suck? And we didn't even, you know, we didn't look at them, didn't chat, just kept on walking. You know, what the fuck ever. Well, we walk past him. The guy pushes me, like shoves my back, and like I stagger forward. I turn around and I fucking scream as loud as I can. If either you want to touch me a fucking again, I'll knock all your teeth down your goddamn throat. And they just gave me this look like I was not expecting that reaction.
Yeah. They saw honesty.
Part of it, I'm not even gonna lie. A little bit, I was trying to mac on this girl, so, you know, I gotta puff out the chest and be alpha male to these motherfuckers. It was probably, I'm a very non-violent dude. But yeah, that's the closest. Yo, Ross is saying in the Skype chat, he is too. He's never been in a fucking fight. So we will wrap it up with the 2011 Pulitzer Prize winner for music and arts, Chris Lowenstein.
What?
Who apparently isn't with us. Chris, you there?
Wait, what's this segment that we're throwing to him dramatically?
No. I'm okay.
Just asking for disaster.
I'm just saying random things every time. I called him my baby daddy the first time. I called him my dad the second time. Now I'm saying he won a Pulitzer Prize. You fucking
fucked up family.
Yo, he is probably dead. We'll let him call back whenever he rejoins us. It was Rest down to 5. We're dropping off like flies here, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
This is like a last man standing match. There's no need for a game. It's just whoever's left standing at the end of the show wins.
Yo,
who can stay on the call?
We actually heard this is a ladder match, and we heard Gavin fall down that ladder before the show. It's down to 5. All right, we'll skip past this Bellator nonsense, but really quick, I want to talk about Fight Master. I saw the end of it. Alan saw the end of it. Ramses, you didn't see it. Ross and Yao, did you all catch any of Fight Master?
No.
Yao? Ross says
did
no.
not. No.
Alright, so basically none of us saw it.
Wait, hold on. I didn't see it. I know it's a reality MMA show on, like, Spike, and it's focused on Bellator, but what is this? I have no idea.
Alan, I think, saw more of it than me. Alan, you want to sort of give him the premise to it? They have four coaches, and the premise is pick your coach, but I'm not really sure how far past that it goes. Alan? That motherfucker died yet again.
I'll say this.
Yeah, I think Ross knows a little bit. This
I
man
know
knows his shit.
a little bit about it, but all I really need to say is Joe Riggs is part of the cast, and that's all you need to know. This is a disaster. Don't watch this show.
Damn, very, very blunt and to the goddamn point. Yeah. The 4 coaches you have to choose from. I think you had to like fight to get into the house, like tough or something, and the winner got to pick which team or coach he wanted to train with. But there's 4 teams, and the teams are Frank Shamrock, Joe Warren, Randy Couture, and Greg Jackson. I was talking before the show. I don't know why you'd ever pick Warren or Shamrock over Jackson or Randy, but. I think Alan is back. Are you with us, Alan? We cannot hear you if you are talking. Maybe you're on mute or something.
He's muted.
I think I just heard a mute button unpop. You with us? Alan Hamilton. He's fucking officer down, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what is going on.
No.
Send backup, officer down. Hopefully he does join us back.
Down to 4.
Yeah, Alan, I guess I'm going to go ahead and cut you off once you figure it out. Please call back. Down to 4. Jesus Christ, this started... he said, dude, my mute button is not hot. Is NT hot?
Look, we need a female, like, chirping. We need... I hate... when a fucking radio show or like a TV show brings in like an obvious hole, basically. But we could use a female. We need that input here, man, on our podcast. It's lacking. So if anybody out there, I don't know what the phone number is, can you give it out? But any females, call in.
213-457-3380. And I'm going to tweet that out too. Alan called us back. Alan, you with us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
There he is. We can hear you loud and clear. Tell us about Fightmaster past the whole 4-coach setup, because I really don't know how you join a team and if the losers of tonight's fights were eliminated. What the fuck was up with that? I slept through the first half.
I didn't see that first half. All I saw was the last 3 fights. And it just ended abruptly after the last guy got picked. Like, they didn't really set it up for next week or say what was up next or what was happening. So the only thing different really is the pick your coaches part. I mean, everything else is basically the same as Tough, except it's more more boring and the fighters aren't as skilled.
So will all of them be like living in a house with one another and shit?
It didn't say anything after the last fight. Like, it just cut, like it just went off. There was no explanation or no setup for next week saying that next week, tune in because...
Jesus Christ. Well, that's some bullshit. The amount they promoted it, you'd think they would, do a little bit better running a preview bit at the end of the show. Those lazy cocksuckers. All right. Let's move to UFC 161. We talked about it ad nauseum on the post-fight podcast, the first one of its kind, which is on YouTube. And it got one YouTube comment just saying, wow, which I thought was pretty apt. A lot of us were drunk. Some of us were too drunk to talk. Not me, luckily. But tune in and listen in for yourself. Pretty good shit. But let's talk about it really briefly. Just pick one fight to talk about on the card, because I don't really want to talk about these fights. And I'll start off with the only fight worth mentioning: Sean Jordan looking like a stud, knocking out Pat Barry. The rest of the fights were all snoozers. Rashad wins a snoozer, Ryan Jimmo wins a snoozer, Alexis Davis wins a snoozer, Jake Shields wins a snoozer, Stipe Miocic, that I guess wasn't a snoozer. He beat the living snot out of Roy Nelson for 3 rounds, which none of us expected. And if you ask Nelson, it would probably seem like he just won, because he's bragging about, I'm the toughest man in the UFC. Like, yeah, you can't get over a top 5 opponent. You should brag about that. But, that is what went on at UFC 161. We're all waiting for a better card in 162. Ramsey, tell us about one fight from the card.
I'll take this fucking opportunity to just say I was fucking right, people. The main event was a piece of shit. Fucking Dan Henderson and Rashad Evans. What more proof do you need to know that these people are done? They have no desire to fight anymore. The fire is not there. They both walked in there, shook hands, had a sparring session, and the next day they went home for Father's Day. I can promise you they had that conversation beforehand. Why get hurt? Tomorrow's Father's Day. Let's just make our money. Whoever wins the spar wins. And it was bullshit, and I am highlighting it because I was right, people. These people are done. They need to retire instead of ripping people off for $60, honestly. Word on the street.
And as Yao says, mark another one up for the black guy. Yao, your fellow Black Zillions, Ryan Jimmo and Rashad Evans, came away with victories while putting us all to sleep. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was a good night for the Black Zillions, like it always is. But, one fight that really stood out to me and that I enjoyed the most was Rashad Evans versus Dan Henderson. Rashad went in there and got
Oh, no,
booed.
you bought it.
He got booed like it was freaking, like he was fighting a Brazilian in Brazil. That's how bad he got booed. He went in there and won a very close decision over a very tough guy in Dan Henderson. He went out there, got dropped in the first round, but came back strong and really put it on Dan Henderson. So I was happy, and happy for Rashad.
Fuck yeah, Alan.
I'm going to talk about the John McGuire fight. I don't know if a lot of people saw it because it was on the Facebook prelims.
Oh, I saw it. We had him on the Word on the Street podcast. Shout out John McGuire. But yeah, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No. Shout out to him. A lot of people were bitching and complaining because whenever he kept dominating the guy from his back, kept getting his back, and I think it was the second and third round, and they were saying that he wasn't trying to finish the fight or he wasn't doing anything. They didn't give credit to the other guy for just being hard to finish, but I don't know how he lost that fight. I mean, he definitely won 2 rounds just based off of his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu. And I just wanted to say that it was a total work. It was bullshit. And he won that fight. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Really quickly, did anybody see the gif of Pat Barry spitting water down his pants? And if so, does anybody know why Pat Barry spat a bunch of water down his pants? Anybody see it?
I didn't see it, but I didn't see it, but I heard about it. Basically, man, dude.
I posted the GIF in the chat now. If you want to pop it open, it's literally as simple as he's bouncing around his corner, hands him a water bottle. He takes a swig, hands the bottle back, and spits a lot of water down his pants. You think his turtle was going in his shell? What the fuck was going on there?
Well, when you're a big guy, I know fat people, when they, when they get active and shit starts rubbing against it, there's a rash burn instantly. Honestly, that part of his body was probably just burning just from the heat friction, actual friction. If you're a fat guy, I bet the back of his neck also needed some fucking ice water in it. But yeah, man. And then also, just freezing up that junk, man. Maybe he got kicked in it. He said he got eye poked or something, but maybe, I don't know. You dump that ice water down there, you feel better in some way. He was probably just burning up. If you ever puked, you instantly break out in a sweat. An adrenaline rush is just like that.
I think
sorry to interject, but he actually I got the GIF out of a thread on the UG, and Barry actually replied and said that a bunch of people had guessed why he did it, and he said, so far none of the reasons guessed are right. 2 tickets to whoever gets it right first, but it doesn't count if I already told you. P.S. I'm doing some other BS, but what the fuck is up with this?
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you look at a lot of Frankie's fights, in between rounds, they'll throw the ice water, down on his groin. I guess it kind of shocks you and wakes you up. I think it kind of wakes you up, like a shock factor. But maybe he did it because of that. I don't know.
Yeah, I should start doing that more often in public. If I'm feeling sleepy and at the office, instead of going down to the old pot of coffee, I can just take off my pants and spit cold water on my dick. Ross Allen, you have any theories on what the fuck Pat Barry was doing, spitting water on his monkey?
First of all, you will become a registered sex offender, probably, after making that statement. Second of all...
He already is.
Yeah, he already is.
Yeah, I definitely am.
He prides himself on that, actually.
We've gone a lot darker, my
He even
friend.
has a white van.
Yeah, I do. I got a white van. The windows are all painted over. Even the windshield, it's hard to see, but I make do.
You should get an ice cream truck instead. That works better. But anyway, not to get too far off topic, I have no clue why Pat Barry did that. I guess, like Yao said, maybe shock to wake himself up a little bit, or maybe like Ramsey said, not get like jock itch or some shit like that. But yeah, that was weird.
Who the fuck knows? Alan, any theories?
I have no idea or explanation other than I can say he's from Louisiana, and that probably has something to do with it. Most of us down here are fucked up weird or just do crazy shit sometimes.
That's
Hey,
true.
I also have some breaking news. I'll tweet a picture out in a little bit.
Breaking news.
If you watched Bellator, I was watching, and fucking Roy Nelson was on there cornering the big fat guy, the heavyweight fight.
I saw that.
Yeah. And they got a great shot of him standing right below the Bellator sign with the Fight Master logo in the background.
Yeah, I saw him sitting in the ring, just with his fat belly sticking out there. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think he's going.
Yep.
What the fuck, Ross? Any thoughts on UFC 161? You have any fights or anything that stood out to you?
The one thing, Stipe Miocic, he kind of stood out a little bit, but the one thing that really stood out to me was the James Krause-Sam Stout fight. James Krause looked unbelievable. This is a guy who is just so underrated. He had one bad fight, his one shot on The Ultimate Fighter against Justin Lawrence. That was his bad fight. He beats Lawrence any day of the week. This guy came out there, beat the shit out of Sam Stout. Got to give credit to Sam Stout, though. He's got a hell of a chin. He's a complete warrior. But that was a brutal bloodbath, and that guillotine was just beautiful. So props to James Krause.
Yeah, and he definitely earned his 100K, and he'll probably get that said. He hasn't been smoking any of the devil's lettuce, so those bastards over at Zuffa won't be stealing his money like they stole Pat Healy's. I guess that sort of wraps up UFC 161, all the fight reviews. We can pop over to the news, and really quick, Ross just brought up a pretty interesting thing. Ivan Menjivar and Kid Yamamoto announced for UFC 165. And the question isn't who do you think is going to win, because it's obviously Menjivar. How many times in a row is Kid Yamamoto going to need to lose before he gets cut, Ramses?
Kid Yamamoto. I don't even know who the fuck this person is, man.
He was a hit in Japan.
He's a legend.
Shit. A fucking legend. Came over to the UFC, fell on his face, couldn't do shit. Another example, maybe even the prime example of JMMA just failing in America.
Look, people, here's the truth. If it didn't happen in the UFC, I probably didn't fucking watch it or give a damn about it. I'm that kind of fan. I am new to it. Well, I've been following for at least 5 years, at least, dedicated every fight. But, yeah, Kid Yama, you're talking nonsense to me. You're speaking in a different language here, so I'll just fucking pass. To whoever's next.
Yeah, pick it up, cocksucker. You have to Ramses every time. Come on, son.
My bad.
The future champion. Gotta step it up.
Yeah, I think Ivan Menjivar will just win this. Kid Yamamoto hasn't. I haven't even seen him win a fight in a very long time, and he's one of those Japanese fighters that Chael talks about that can barely even win rounds in the UFC, let alone fights. So I think Ivan Menjivar will just take it.
Alan?
Yeah, I definitely he had trouble. He lost to Vaughn Lee. I don't think Vaughn Lee is strong enough to compete with some of the stronger guys in the 135 division, and I definitely think Ivan's stronger than Vaughn Lee, and therefore can beat Kid Yamamoto's ass. Yamamoto, without the Yakuza backing him, I don't think he'll ever win another fight again. So he needs to go back to Japan.
Ross?
Kid Yamamoto has a job? Wait, when did he have a job? Didn't he get cut last year?
Yeah, I honestly thought his days in the UFC were done, but apparently, according to you, he's taking on Minjavar at 165 or some shit.
Yeah,
Yoshihiro Akiyama.
Yeah, this is what I mean. I understand them keeping him around for maybe another card in Japan or maybe a fight in Macau, something like that. But to keep him around after a long ass layoff and to put him in there in fucking Toronto, that means nothing. That makes no sense. And he's fighting Menjivar. I mean, Menjivar, doesn't he have Canadian ties of some kind, I think? But
yeah, he's I think he's Canadian.
Yeah, whatever. So I guess that's why they're doing the fight. But yeah, Yamamoto, if you're going to keep him around, use him in Japan where everything's worked, not outside of Japan.
Yeah, and he would be such a draw for a Japanese fight. But look, the guy started his career 17-1, and those last two fights on that stretch were against Bibiano Fernandez, who most people think of as a top 3 bantamweight in the world, maybe even the best non-UFC fighter in the entire world. I mean, dude, he's definitely top 5, which is why I say maybe. I don't know if I put him number 1, but dude, he's beaten everyone not in the UFC. I mean, he beat Benuelos, he beat Maeda.
Benuelos though is is a 125er.
Yo, who is your boy Chris Weidman beaten?
Mark Munoz, Damian Maia, 2 top 5 fighters in the middleweight division.
Yeah, and look, I mean, is 2 top 5 guys in the middleweight class at the time, but now you will look at him. It's sort of the same with Bibiano. When he beat Benuelos was the shit. When he beat Hellboy Hansen, he was the shit.
When he beat Benuelos, he beat Benuelos in the bantamweight tournament for Dream in 2011. That was after Benuelos was cut by the UFC.
Yeah,
so
but still, I mean, he can't fight UFC level guys because they aren't going to be
Look at my
leaving
fucking
UFC.
champ there with the facts, people.
Yo, Bibi, all right. So name 5 people outside of the UFC who are better at their division than Bibiano.
There aren't many guys. I mean, what's his name? Marlon Moraes, he might be better. I mean, he's looked pretty good in his last 2 fights against that Tyson Nam. Eduardo Dantas is definitely, in my opinion, better. Other than that, I don't really think there is anyone better than him outside the UFC, but that doesn't mean he's...
Alright, so you're shitting all over my point for fucking what, you cocksucker. Alright, listen, this is the point I'm trying to get. Kid Yamamoto, his last 2 wins were against decent guys in Fernandez and Yaya, and then he just fell on his face. He's 0-3 in the UFC. Before that, he was 1-2 in Dream, losing to Warren, Kanehara. And yeah, his first UFC fight was a tough one. He had to fight Mighty Mouse, a current champion. But his last 2 fights against Darren, Yuya Oyama, and Vaughn Lee just were unimpressive. Lee fucking subbed him out in the first round at UFC 144, and he hasn't fought in a year and a half since. I just don't know why you wouldn't. It's already been a year and a half. Just wait until you go back to Asia, where he's going to be a huge draw. He's a fucking legend over there.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think all of us are sort of in the same boat there, wondering where the fuck. What the fuck? This whole other. I don't even know what's going on now.
Yeah, I'm getting that too, man.
Yeah,
what is this?
I think people are trying to start a new call, which makes a lot of sense. But, alright, look.
It's a mutiny.
Yeah, it's a fucking mutiny, these cocksuckers. We got a few more bits of news to talk about, but first, Yao, are you ready for your training log? Yao's training log, June 20th?
Yes, I am.
Let's do it.
Alright, people. This is Yao's training log. I'm just going to break the monotony on this one and just be real, be straight up about what I've been thinking lately. Like you heard Jake say earlier, my tournament, Grappler's Quest, is literally a month away. It is the 20th of July, and every day I get more and more nervous thinking about it. You know, thinking about losing, not even placing. I mean, you can win first, second, and third, but I'm starting to think about what if I don't place at all. I don't need anything, but I need that gold medal on the 20th. I've been training twice a day, and one thing I've really been working on is my conditioning and my endurance, because I can't control what that guy is going to do, but I can control what I'm going to do. And if I can be in enough shape to push harder than anybody else that's going to step on that mat, then I'm headed in the right direction. So that's what I've been working on, really. Today, I just got in from wrestling and jiu-jitsu just about 2 hours ago, hopped on the podcast with the guy himself, Jake, who's been letting me do these training logs. And next one, I'll have more stuff to tell you guys. And really just thank you, Jake, for having me.
Dude, thank you for telling us about your training. I think it's really interesting. We have an amateur fighter on, so why not chronicle week by week what he's been doing, what his mindset is. And, you're coming home with that fucking gold. It's going to be good shit. We also got a new caller. It's been a crazy night of callers, but we haven't heard his voice yet. He's from Philly. We know him by many names. We know him by MMA Mogul, but he's going by King Ying tonight. What is going on, dude? Where the fuck can we find you on Twitter?
Yo, you can find me at King Ying 90 or the MMA Moguls. But I just want to let you know, I know Yale is telling the truth, because if you go to his Twitter page, you will see a picture of him and his friend doing laps in his pool with some floaties. And I'm not making this up. He had like one of them. I'm not making this up. He had like one of them, like the old ladies use at the pool to keep them afloat. You know what I'm saying?
Look, I won't get a racist, but it's a safety precaution, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, yeah, black people can't swim, but
fucking.
But at least he's getting his cardio in, dude. One way or the other, he's
swimming. Swimming is really one of the best cardio exercises ever. My buddy was like my best friend was like the fucking captain of the swim team, and like would say like, yeah, dude, swimming, it's not just like a leisure thing. Like, we actually sweat our asses off like as we swim. We have to like you wouldn't think, but like we have to drink a lot of water swimming because you just sweat your ass off. Yeah, are you swimming to prep up?
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of like swimming and everything, but the floaties were really just to work legs without using your arms, and then you switch and then you use your arms without using your legs. So that's what the floaties were for. But I can swim, and I can swim very fast. I'm actually undefeated too.
Undefeated at swimming. He's the Black Michael Phelps. Yo, yeah. All right. If you had to put a number on it, can most black people swim or not? Is the stereotype true? Is the stereotype false? What's going on?
Yo, to be honest, I've never even heard that stereotype. I just heard it when you got. I'm so serious. Like, my whole family can swim. Like, they taught me how to swim, and they're African American, so I'd have to say no. I've never heard that.
Damn. Fuck yeah, we're breaking down walls here on the MMA podcast. We just were talking about Menjivar and King Ying. We'll slot you in between, we'll slot you in after Ross. So it'll be Ramses, Yao, Allen, Ross, King Ying, and don't wait for me to lead in whenever the person before you's done. Just start chiming in. Ramses, Yao, Allen, Ross, King Ying. We got to talk about it. The welterweight championship, it's officially been announced. Ramses, I know, is going to go on a rant about how the fight's never going to happen, but you got George St-Pierre, who's going to be taking on Johnny Hendricks. For once, GSP won't be fighting in Canada. It's going to be in Vegas, November 17th. They did announce that, I guess, a couple days ago on UFC Tonight at the Mandalay Bay Event Center. Holy shit. GSP Johnny Hendricks. I got Johnny Hendricks by first round KO. Ramses, what do you think? I know you don't think the fight's gonna materialize, but if it does, who you got?
Yeah, I won't believe it until they're actually both in the fucking octagon. This fucking fight ain't gonna happen, people. I'm calling it. I'm still calling it right now. You can announce the date. You can sell those fucking tickets. It ain't gonna happen.
All right. Well, I'll rephrase. I know you don't think it's gonna happen, but if it does, who you got?
Oh, come on, man. If it happens, it's because Johnny Hendricks fucking agreed to take the dive, or they're gonna poison him on the night of the fight. That's just how the business goes. So, if it does happen, GSP will win.
Holy shit, yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually excited for this fight, and the interesting thing is that I'm pretty sure George fought Carlos Condit last year, November 17th. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, I'm excited for this fight. George is going to win. Johnny Hendricks is not that hard to figure out. He has the left hand and some wrestling, I guess, but George is going to pick him apart. His striking is too clean. It's too sharp. Johnny, he's just a brawler. He tries to come at you 100%. George is going to pick him apart from the outside, take him down when he wants to, and it'll be another one in the win column for George St-Pierre.
That's another one for the white guy. Alan?
Gonna go out on a limb, and, since it's in Vegas, it's gonna be a work. I'm gonna give it to GSP by split decision because it's just not gonna matter. They're not gonna let GSP drop the title. He makes them too much money. Nobody even wants to see this fight except for the fans that like Johnny Hendricks and Johnny Hendricks. I like the guy, but every single one of his fights that weren't a knockout were split decisions or close fights. So I don't know. I just think it's going to be a split decision.
Word on the street.
Word on the street. He's calling a split. Yeah, I think Hendricks lost 2 split decisions to Koscheck and somebody else. It's not coming to mind. No, it wasn't. I don't even know. What the fuck? But I know who will know. Ross. Who did Hendricks lose those splits to? I fucking forget. I'm really high.
Who lose splits to? What?
Johnny Hendricks.
Johnny Hendricks.
You paying attention, cocksucker? Get it together.
Hendricks didn't lose split decisions to anyone. He lost one fight, a unanimous decision to Rick Story at the Ultimate Fighter 12 finale.
There you go. He is the encyclopedia. GSP versus Hendricks. What do you think, Ross?
I think this fight does happen. I think it's happening in Vegas because George is going to lose, and what better place to pass the torch than in Vegas, the fight capital of the world. It is the 20th anniversary, so they're going to make it big. They want to close the show with the big turn, the big switch. In the WWE, they have the big moment at WrestleMania. This is the big moment for the UFC. They have the big title change, passing of the torch. Johnny Hendricks takes the belt. There'll probably be a co-main event with a title fight, maybe the bantamweight title on the line, interim bantamweight title. Who the fuck knows? But you heard it here first. Johnny Hendricks, knockout, second round. He's taking that belt home.
Jesus Christ. So Johnny has said to the press that he believes he'll need to beat George twice. Do you think that's true, or will a one-sided knockout, put him down a little bit?
There will be 2 fights because George, I believe, only has 2 fights left on his contract. So there's going to be the Hendricks fight for the first time, and then there'll be a rematch, and then George is going to retire. George wants to retire anyway, so what better way to get rid of him than have him lose?
And we just had somebody tweet in our boy Darius. You can follow him on Twitter at Darius137. He tweeted us, I think GSP is going to get knocked out. He falls apart when he gets tapped on the dome, or he's got a little bit of sweat in his eyes. #dainty. King Ying, what are your thoughts? GSP versus your boy Johnny Hendricks.
What was the name of the dude that just tweeted you?
Darius137.
All right, well, Darius137 is the man. Yeah. He knows what he's talking about. GSP's getting the fuck out. I don't know how anyone thinks he's making it out of this fight. I don't understand. He's getting knocked the Yeah, probably first round, probably first 10 seconds. I just don't. I don't see anyone like. How do you how do you even see GSP winning out wrestling Hendricks?
What?
You know,
Let's talk
GSP.
about it.
Well, yeah, let's. Really, that a lot of people think it's going to hinge on that. Let's put it around one more time, Ramses. I know you're saying the fight's not going to happen, but play along. Do me a solid and pretend it is, or even if they, even if you don't have to pretend, who has better wrestling, the NCAA champion in Johnny Hendricks, or the guy with the unorthodox wrestling background, but a guy who we all think has maybe the best wrestling in mixed martial arts, George St-Pierre?
GSP, man, he is just one wrong move away from blowing out that fake knee again. People think like you have surgery, you have that ACL replacement, and then you're all of a sudden it's like you're fucking 18 again. No. All right? The fact that you're competing again is a miracle in and of itself. You cannot push that shit. It's just bound to break like a spring at any moment. Like, people have to get real about this shit, all right? GSP's done. He's done. He can wrestle, but he has to be very fucking careful about what he's doing. That's in the back of his mind now. So that is a weakness in and of itself. That knee's already blown out once. It's going to happen again. That's just fucking life, people. So Johnny Hendricks, as far as I know, he's not really been injured to that extent. So he can probably out-wrestle this motherfucker, but they're not going to let him. Fucking Hendricks, I'll end it right here. Johnny Hendricks is a hillbilly. They're not going to fucking let him win and beat out and cancel and bury a multi-million-dollar organization, which is GSP.
Well, I mean, he's got to lose eventually, and his contract's dwindling down. He's getting older. I mean, it's not like they're never gonna let him lose until he's in his 50s. He's got to lose eventually.
Yeah, but
and Johnny's a marketable guy. You think about it. There's no real guy to appeal to the South. Like, there's no current champion except for maybe big country that really appeals to that big demographic of rednecks. Like, red states, 49% of the UFC voted, or the UFC, 49% of the USA voted for Romney. There's a big amount of just country bumpkins. And Johnny, I mean, he's got the big old beard, he talks with an accent, he's a nice guy, he likes talking about driving big trucks. He is a huge grab for that demographic.
Yeah, but they don't fight him in the South, so they're not really capitalizing on his name.
We're still buying pay-per-views.
Right, but he's not like fighting in this. Like, they should put him on the Houston card, for example, in October. They're not. Right away, that's sending up warning signals in my brain. I'm just saying, GSP, biggest selling pay-per-view event this year. They're not going to let him lose to a hillbilly. I'm sorry, they're not.
For sure. Actually, kind of to tag along, this is random, but Darius Rucker was on the Dan Patrick show saying that he's doing country now, and that country audience, that southern rednecky, and I'm allowed to say it because I live in Florida, they're really the last demographic of people who's buying albums and they're not torrenting and streaming stuff. This demographic, I don't know, maybe they buy pay-per-views. I do know the UFC is huge with a lot of my redneck friends. I actually know a bunch of them who fight amateur in St. Augustine and do it like the exact opposite as Yao. Instead of training, they just like talk about fighting all the time and how they're a fighter, and then they just drink their asses off the night before and get their ass kicked. But I don't know. I mean, GSP is a huge name, but you can't keep him around forever, especially. The one thing I would say they are saving up for is that big Silva St-Pierre fight, because you protect George until he fights Silva, then GSP Silva is going to be giant, and then after Silva wipes the floor with GSP, then Jones Silva will be giant, and the UFC can get both super fights, have their cake, and eat it too. Yao, what are your thoughts about just the wrestling matchup?
Well, for me, I don't know what kind of game plan George is going to come up with. Whatever it is, it's going to be a fantastic game plan. But Johnny Hendricks is a southpaw, and so that means George's jab will be closer. We'll get to his face even closer and even faster. So, George sets up everything from his jab. That's his measuring tool, his measuring stick. Johnny Hendricks is a southpaw, so George's left leg will be closer to Johnny's right leg. So I think he'll just be grabbing singles all day long.
Alan, come on, cocksucker.
What's up? I don't.
God damn it! You're after Yao every time. Come on, son.
I don't know. I just don't see GSP losing. The knee injury, it mostly affects his lateral movement, is what they were saying. With your ACL. From all the strength and conditioning, all the videos and stuff that they were showing, all that crazy shit that he does, like the gymnastics and all that. I think he's still in pretty good shape. I think the knee's going to hold up. I know Johnny Hendricks is supposed to be, a great college wrestler and all that, but the Greco-Roman style of wrestling is what really translates better into MMA and helps. I hadn't seen Johnny wrestle a whole lot. He's defended some takedowns. But I just don't see GSP losing to him. It might be another close fight. Johnny might rock George, and it'd be like the Condit fight, and then it'll just be George taking him down, or George jabbing him in the eye for 5 rounds. I think that's how it ends up.
Ross Finkelstein.
George is probably the better wrestler in the cage. Obviously, outside of the cage, a straight-up wrestling match, Johnny Hendricks wins any day of the week. That being said, I think GSP can definitely get Johnny Hendricks down. I don't know if Johnny can get him down, and I definitely think Johnny can hit him with that left hand.
King Ying?
Yeah, man, I just want to say, to comment on what Yao was saying, this is the same GSP. I'm pulling up the fight metric now to double check, but I'm almost positive that Shields outlanded him standing up. Jake motherfucking Shields. I'm looking at it right now. So, yeah, dude, like, Shields landed 96 to St-Pierre's 85.
Shields is the most exciting fighter in the UFC, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Shields sucks completely standing up. So, how the fuck do you think GSP's not getting knocked the fuck out by Johnny Hendricks? It's not feasible. Like, there's no way when they're both fresh, GSP's not getting that takedown right away. I don't care. Like, maybe GSP in 2008. Yeah. GSP 2013, it couldn't even take Nick Diaz, who's my favorite fighter, no disrespect, couldn't take him the fuck down in the later rounds. There's no way he's taking Johnny Hendricks down right off the bat. GSP's going to get clipped. Then he's going to start, oh shit. He's going to start backing up, and Johnny Hendricks is coming in for the kill. New champion, bet the farm.
Damn. Yao, you have any comments? You're sort of on the opposite side of this.
Yeah, I mean, to say that, look, George is like a timing fighter. He got, everybody saw that Shields fight. His eye was messed up. His timing was never the same.
He went to the hospital after that fight.
Okay.
Was that the one where he was like, my groin?
Yeah.
Look, what I'm saying is, Johnny Hendricks is not going to be able to damage George St-Pierre in this fight. George is too smart to let that happen. The only guy that really damaged him lately was Carlos Condit. And that was unexpected. But Johnny Hendricks is not hard to figure out. George is going to pick him apart from the outside. He's going to be obviously prepared for that big left hand. He's going to have something for it. I don't know what it will be, but we'll see. You'll all see.
Was this before or after you smoked bath salts?
Damn.
I think you eat bath salts. I don't think you smoke them.
All right, well, I'm gonna
you
crack
can
it.
do either one, right? I would imagine. I hope your ass can smoke bath salts, or else I'm
I
doing
find
it the
that
wrong
kind of
way.
strange that you actually know that.
You have to know that whenever you deal with those type
Oh
of
yeah,
freaks.
yeah. I forgot that was Alan. Okay.
He isn't trying to get his face eaten off, cocksuckers.
Okay.
Yo, let's move on really quick though. Let me get in the 10 solid seconds of sports, and then we'll move on to the next topic. Let me get a deep breath. Chicago Blackhawks and the Boston Bruins played Game 4 tonight. Chicago won 6-5 in overtime. 3 of the 4 games have gone to overtime last night. Game 6, Heat, Spurs, it's going to 7. That shit is rigged. If you believe David Stern in the NBA, you're fucking retarded. Alright. That is the 10 seconds of sports where we talk about all things not MMA. But we will move back into MMA. Speaking of the NBA, speaking of works, like I just mentioned, the Heat and the Spurs in an obvious work. They built up the drama and everything, and then of course David Stern, the commish of the NBA. You think it was a mistake? His right hand man Joey Crawford was reffing the game, a guy who actually has a bad history with Tim Duncan of the Spurs. So you'd think he'd be the last one to choose. It's all rigged, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to ask if you think it's rigged, though. I want to ask what you think about this beef between the star of the series, the star of the NBA, LeBum James, a.k.a. LeBron James. Chael Sonnen went on the Jim Rome show recently, and I think every year he does a smack off, and you try and call in and say witty shit. And Chael won last year. He was robbed this year. He only got 5th. But in his rant, he talked about LeBum James. Jimmy Fallon even brought it up, called him Chael Sonnen. But Chael was actually followed up. Bleacher Report followed up. And I'll read this word for word. Bleacher Report. What prompted you to call LeBron James a dork on the Jim Rome show? Is there any sort of history between the two of you? Chael Sonnen said the following. His name being brought up prompted it. He makes Urkel look cool. I would have liked to call him a twat, but they changed subjects. Let me tell you a story about LeBron. He asked the UFC for tickets for my fight against Anderson Silva. We sit the guy in the front row, and all through the night he snubs our fans. He's a guest in our house, and he refuses to sign any autographs or take any pictures unless your cup size was later in the alphabet than he was able to learn. And from what I understand, he thinks the letter purple comes after C. This guy walked up to my fiance backstage and asked her if there's a tic-tac in her blouse or if she was just happy to see him. I had a UFC employee tell me he saw a mother wheel her handicapped child up to him to get a picture. LeBron was walking towards them. When he reached the kid, the mother stopped the wheelchair. LeBron took the wheelchair, wheeled it out of the way, and kept walking. I'd slapped the divots right off of his face. Bleacher Report. You versus LeBron James at UFC 200. Who wins the fight and how? Sonnen. He'd run away faster than his hairline. His hair went north, his talents went south, and his mother went west. And if you don't understand that joke, when he was with the Cleveland Cavaliers, there was a big hubbub because his mom, who is literally a crack whore, I'm not calling a crack whore for effect, she was a crack prostitute, and she hooked up with one of LeBron's teammates, Delonte West. While Delonte and LeBron were on the same team, one of his teammates was fucking his mom, so his hair went north, his talents went south, his mother went west. He wasn't talking about directional west, he was talking about LeBron's teammate who his mom fucked. And she is a crack whore, if I didn't say it before. What do you think about LeBum James and Chael Sonnen? It's kind of obvious. I think all of us will feel the exact same way, but does, on top of that, does anyone have any stories of meeting an athlete or a celebrity and them just being a complete douchebag like this LeBron guy?
Let me tell you something. Oh.
You go ahead.
Go ahead. No. No, please.
Yo, Alan said
first,
yes
please.
With conviction.
Yes.
We'll mix it up. We'll do Alan, Ramses, Yao, Ross, Keith, King Ying.
Let me just preface this with the statement, Alan Belcher, you motherfucker.
Oh my god.
I have never, ever met somebody that fucking just looked down the end of their nose at another person with just fucking, I don't know. He was like a chick, man. Like, you know, whenever you meet a hot chick or something like that, and she thinks she's too hot for you and all that good shit, and she looks at you like, yeah, okay. Well, that's exactly what the fuck he did. And I didn't even speak to the dude. I got in the elevator at UFC 159 to go up to my room because I was staying in the same hotel as the fighters. I get in there, and then all of a sudden we stop on the second floor, which is the place where the fighters were all, they had set up a room for them to all train and do their workouts. Well, all of a sudden he walks
Did you just
in.
step on a dog?
No, the dog's fighting the cat. Alan Belter and his coach and his vlog buddy, the guy with the braids or whatever, pop in the elevator. So, you know, I said hey or whatever. His coach, I know some mutual people that his coach knows, so his coach spoke to me. We had a short little conversation, and the whole time, like, we're the only people in the elevator. My brother is also there. He just stands there looking at us, and I kind of look at him, like, and I do my head nod, you know, what's up? And the motherfucker just, like, stands there, like, looks straight at, like, he looked at me and then starts looking straight ahead, like, I could understand if I would have asked you for an autograph, or I'd be like, hey, bro, can I take a picture? Or, you know, something like that. But the dude couldn't even fucking say hello. And I just think that's bullshit. You know, every other fighter I met, you know, the day of their fucking weigh-ins, you know, were still nice. They'd talk, and, you know, I didn't bother half of them. But that motherfucker, dude, you know, he tries to play it up like he's a fan-friendly guy. He does his little video log and, you know, tries to appeal to us, but, you know, in the end, he's really just a stuck-up whore. Kind of like Paris Hilton.
Oh, shit. Ramses?
Yeah, basically, oh man, how do I say it? Well, I believe Chael Sonnen on this LeBron James shit because, of course, I am a Chael Sonnen fan. I am able to fucking keep it objective, step outside myself. Not even a fan of Chael Sonnen. He was right about Lance Armstrong, who lives here in Austin, Texas, where I'm from. Lance is a piece of shit, human garbage. He's one of these people. He's the first one to be like, do you know who I am around town? Obviously, no one cares anymore because he was disgraced. You know, he can fuck himself with his stupid bicycle. Fuck you, Lance Armstrong. Yeah, but so I believe I believe what Chael said about Lance, because I have friends that witnessed it firsthand here in the city. So I have no reason to doubt the LeBron James shit, man. This guy is a piece of shit. He hit on his fiancée. Like, not even his girlfriend. Like, the woman he's going to fucking marry. LeBron James just fucking hit on her like he fucking hits on probably 100 other white women every day. Nothing to do with race, but come on, man. Show some goddamn respect. Like, who the fuck walks up to a woman and is like, is that a tic-tac in your blouse, or are you just happy to see me? That's just fucked up, alright? That's fucked up and it's wrong, even if you're not fucking famous. Fuck you, LeBron. Go back to hell. The people's champion all the way. Word on the street.
Word on the street. Yao, are you going to be racist and take LeBron James' side here? What's the word? What's the truth?
No, I mean, I'm not a racist, but but yeah, I'm going to side with Chael. I don't even like LeBron James. Actually, I don't even like basketball. But, yeah, as far as Chael, you know, saying all that stuff, that's actually very funny, and I actually like it. I can't wait to tell my brother. He's like a huge LeBron fan, and he hates Chael Sonnen, so I can't wait to tell him that story. Looking for the article now. But as far as, like, the whole celebrity thing, yeah, I do have a story once. When I was at UFC 159, I was charging my phone out in the lobby while Sarah McMahon, I think, was fighting somebody. I was charging my phone, and Johnny Bedford, I think that's his name, the 135er, I think.
Johnny Brutal Bedford, yep.
Yeah, he lost his fight that night, and he was, like, sitting by the staircase where the fighters go down to, like, their locker rooms or whatever, and I guess his girlfriend was with him. And I look at him, and then his girlfriend is just like, he's not in the mood. Don't ask. And I didn't even want, like, a picture with him, but she just, like, jumps out of nowhere and is like, hey, he's not in the mood. Just go away. So, you know, F you, Johnny Bedford's girlfriend.
Damn. that reminds me of Ricci, who will be fighting Miles Jury at that same Toronto card we were talking about that Yamamoto is going to be on.
Hey,
Yo, Mikey, really quick, Mikey, you ever find yourself in Florida and you get jumped by a young man and an old man with some old man strength? That's me and my dad whooping your ass, Mikey Ricci. You can't be going around on Twitter calling my dad a homo. He has that old man strength. If anyone who has no idea what I'm talking about, he tweeted out this cryptic tweet that said, "Went in with a brownie, came out with an empty brown bag," which, like, what the fuck? And I said, "Is that code for gay sex?" And he's like, "Oh, your dad would know," which I actually thought was pretty funny. But then he erased the tweets because he's a fancy boy. I'll go ahead and say it. Almost said a synonym, but that probably doesn't play as well as fancy boy here on the show. But yeah, man, fuck Mikey Ricci. Who's next? Ross?
Yeah, I think so. I forgot the question. We went off topic so much.
Yeah, we're talking about UFC on Fox Sports 713. No, we're talking about has a celebrity ever snubbed you or been an asshole to you?
Definitely. Probably way too many times that I can count. I can't even pick out a single set time. I've met so many assholes.
Just start blurting out names.
I'm on the spot. I can't really think.
Boo. King Ying, you're in Philly. You ever get the snub from Allen Iverson or Will Smith or Joe Frazier or Rocky? Any famous Philadelphians ever snub you? You with us, Mogul? Are you muted up? King Ying, you with us?
Kaboom.
Going once, going twice. Kaboom. Alright, I knocked him off the call. Whenever he's back, we'll let him call us back. Yo, Jake Ellenberger and Hohe McDonald gonna be fighting... Oh, wait, no. First, I quickly wanted to talk about... I mentioned NHL. I hate to talk about sports other than MMA. But Ramses, Austin, Texas fucked up tonight, dude. They made national news. The NBC affiliate in Austin, Texas, KXAN, I'm sure you're familiar, they ran an advertisement for the morning show the second the overtime goal was scored. So nobody in Austin, Texas saw the actual goal because they were doing a news promo during overtime. So, I will rip on Texas every now and then, but at least Austin's got it together better than any city in Texas. Ying, I'm calling him back. I don't know where he went to. Let's skip ahead. Hohe McDonald and Jake Ellenberger are going to be fighting each other for what looks like could be #1 title contendership in the welterweight class. Maybe they'll take on the winner of Hendricks versus St-Pierre, but I sort of doubt it for some reason. And I'm looking that fight up now. That fight will be at UFC on Fox 8, July 27th, 2013, in the beautiful Key Arena in Seattle, Washington. That card being headlined by DJ versus John Moraga, which is probably going to be the least interesting title fight in history, and co-mained by Hohe versus Jake. You also got Robbie Lawler versus CR, which is a fight not a lot of people are talking about, but it's going to be a banging fight. It might actually be the fight I'm most pumped for July, because Lawler, CR, both of those guys love to bang, and that's what we're going to see. It fucking, makes me think of Lieben versus Vanderlei or something. This is going to be a great war. You also got a women's card, Carmouche versus Jessica Andrade. And I would hate on it, but you know what? These women have been putting on incredible performances, and I'm expecting to see nothing but more of that. Hohe versus Jake Ramses, who you got?
I honestly, holy shit, man. Rory McDonald, dude. This fucking guy... Jake, I don't even know who the fuck which Jake is he fighting? Shields?
Ellenberger.
Ellenberger? What's the fucking difference? Jake Ellenberger, Jake Shields. Does anybody really give a fuck about either? This fucking... Alright. I'm sorry, people. Let me just break it down for you. Rory McDonald, he is being set up to just be the next Canadian star after his bastard uncle GSP finally retires from that bum knee. Fights Anderson Silva, that's it, end of career. They both walk off into the sunset. It's going to be a glorious moment. Everybody's going to buy the pay-per-view. And then Rory McDonald fucking fills in. He's going to fight these guys. He's going to beat his neck. He's going to run through these next people. They're setting him up for the title. It's going to be worse than the Uriah Faber setups, man. That being said, he does have some skills. He got to the point where he's so confident beating BJ Penn's ass that he started dancing in the middle of the octagon. So I have to give him credit for being a fighter. But, man, I'm getting tired with the shtick, with him just giving one-word answers, being that mysterious guy, showing up to fights dressed up in a full overcoat detective outfit, looking like Sherlock Holmes, looking like Paddington Bear, looking like an MMA Inspector Gadget. Fucking bullshit. I'm done with you, Rory McDonald. I'm not buying it, but God bless you. That's all I gotta say. What's up, Yao?
Look, this fight, Rory McDonald is going to win. Simply because he's too technical and too sharp for Jake Ellenberger. Jake Ellenberger, lately, he's been trying to do the whole calm and, technique and everything. But deep inside, he still knows that he's a gunslinger and that he's just a brawler. He still knows that. His coaches have been trying to just tame him, but it's too late. You can't change what you've been doing for your whole career. So what's going to happen is Rory is going to go out there with his sharp striking, precision striking, and his excellent takedowns, and he's just going to pick Jake Ellenberger apart. It's going to be basically what George is going to do to Johnny Hendricks in the fall. So look out. Don't miss UFC on Fox 8. And you'll see what I'm talking about.
That's the motherfucking truth, Alan.
Man, I don't really know, because both of these guys have shown, weaknesses where I wouldn't expect them to. I rewatched that Carlos Condit fight with Rory McDonald several times, and it's like whenever he starts taking damage, he turns into a completely, different fighter, like a defensive fighter. All of his other fights, where he dominates, he doesn't ever really take a whole lot of damage. Like he might get hit, one or two times, but it's like he got shut down by Carlos Condit. I know that was a while back, and he's moved on, and he's supposedly a different fighter with a different attitude and a newfound confidence. But I don't know. I just don't see. I don't see him being the next big GSP type fighter. Joe Rogan hails him as like a hybrid because he's, been training MMA his whole life, like since he was 16 years old. He didn't just come from, one, type of skill, where he was a wrestler or a boxer or a Muay Thai fighter or something. Jake Ellenberger, whatever negative you want to say about the guy, his chin or his overzealousness, he's exciting. He's an exciting guy to watch. He has great wrestling. He's super athletic. I mean, his taking him down is like trying to take down a fucking 7-foot tall basketball player, if you're 5 feet tall. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm curious to see the fight. I really want to see it. I think it's going to be exciting, especially with them trying to build the fight up and the fake, shenanigans on Twitter. Kind of makes it a little more interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and say Jake Ellenberger knocks Rory McDonald out.
Yeah, you actually mentioned the Twitter roar between Rory and Jake, and I'm actually pulling it up now. But the fight's been made for a little bit, but interest in this July 27th bout has definitely been recharged. I'm reading it now. Ben Folks. It all started off with Ben Folks, reporter, a reporter tweeting, Jake Ellenberger's been told that the winner of his bout against Rory Mack is #1 contender. A familiar story, which he's been told this a lot, and it hasn't always happened. Or when it does happen, he loses. Jake tweets, Rory, prepare for some horizontal television time, which I guess is saying he's going to be taking you down and laying on your ass. Then he tweets again, McDummy, bad news, fighting me. Good news, handicap parking. Then he tweets again, which round is Rory getting melted? Hashtag you choose. Hashtag UFC on Fox 8. Tweeting all this stuff. Rory had no other option but to tweet back. And he says, with a bunch of abbreviation, because he, I guess, couldn't get all this across in 140 characters. For someone with such a weak draw, you sure use a lot to talk shit. When you're done building yourself up, I'll be there to send you back to reality. Jake says, McDummy, unless you're using a unit of time as adjective, the word is weak, W-E-A-K, not weak, W-E-E-K, stupid. Then Damon Martin, who I guess is another reporter, as an English major, I rather enjoyed that last tweet. Rory, emotionally struggling, knowing inside he's inferior to me. Jake, let me proofread your inane comments from now on, you idiot. Rory, fool yourself, Jacob. Correcting internet spelling won't change your fate. Jake, don't make me mess up your coif. Pull a couple buttons off your cardigan, precious. Which that was my favorite tweet of them all, but it was pretty bitter. It was getting pretty nasty. Ross, Hohe, and Jake, what are your thoughts?
I think Hohe. That's a great name. I think Hohe is getting his head taken off by Jake Ellenberger. Rory McDonald hasn't fought anyone reputable. He has not fought anybody in the top 10 yet. This joke of a UFC ranking has him at number 3, which is absolutely pathetic. I think he is top 10, but like number 10, number 9, definitely not number 3. Jake Ellenberger has shown time and time again he's a fantastic fighter. He got caught against Campman. It was an early stoppage. That fight shouldn't have stopped right there. Everybody he fights, he hits. He tags every single person he fights every single time because he rushes in and he gets him with those big power shots. He's got quite possibly the heaviest hands in the division next to Johnny Hendricks. I think he's able to blitz Rory. I think he connects with Rory, and Rory goes down.
Rory goes down. We will see that later this month, like I mentioned, July 27th, UFC on Fox 8. Do want to touch on a couple more topics before we close it out. But first off, of course, like we do every week, we got to get to... Yao, he's jumping in really quick. Yao, Hohe and Jake, this better be good, cocksucker.
Yeah, I just want to say, Jake Ellenberger's punches are way too wide, and they come around way too slow. Rory, he works with GSP in the TriStar gym every single day. I know what he's going to do. He's going to make his punches straight and direct and beat Jake Ellenberger to the punch, just like we saw St-Pierre do to Roy Nelson last Saturday, and just like we saw GSP do to Koscheck back at UFC 124.
Yo, when did you start training at TriStar, Yao? You can tell us.
I can't.
He jumped on that Kenny Florian bandwagon.
That Ken Flo TriStar bullshit bandwagon.
That cockwagon.
Oh, shit. Yo, Ramses, you have a fight tip for us?
Oh, yeah. Let's fucking do it. I'm ready, man.
Let's do this shit. Ramses, fight tips.
Yes, fight tips, people. Usually I like to throw out a fucking technique, but this is just some advice, alright? I call this piece of advice, the phone book. Look, guys, sometimes, you can't get involved in a street fight or a bar fight like we were talking about earlier. But sometimes you have to beat somebody down and just avoid the legal repercussions, accusations. That's why whenever, you get that phone book delivered to your doorstep, most people throw it away or whatever. No, this is what you do, people. You put that shit in your car. You get that phone book, you keep it in your fucking car. Why? Because when you hit somebody with a phone book, when you beat a man with a phone book, or a woman if that's your thing, it will not leave a bruise indicating that they were beaten by a human being. So basically the phone book is a way, it's just... You've seen it on TV shows, but it's actually real. It doesn't leave a distinctive mark. Not in the way of, a punch or fingers in the face, scratches, or whatever. No. You keep the fucking phone book in your car. You bust it out whenever whenever you need to give somebody the fucking business. You get that fucking phone book. You slam it up the top of their fucking head, in their liver repeatedly, kidneys, whatever, in their balls. You wrap that shit up. It works every fucking time, people. I can't even tell you how many, Jesus Christ, how many phone books I've been through. Alright? Just trust me. And never leave the phone book at the scene of the crime. Well, obviously, for the sake of argument, you have not committed a crime. It's all in self-defense, whatever. But you use a goddamn phone book, alright? It's not a blunt object. And what's the person gonna fucking say? He came at me with a fucking phone book? Who's gonna believe that? Not even Officer Allen would. That's the word on the street fight tip. And just see you next week at the dojo. Thank you.
See you next week at the dojo, cocksuckers. Yo, we got a few more items I want to touch on before we close this shit out. We've been doing this about an hour and a half now. Oh, and it looks like King Ying's back. We can actually get his thoughts. King Ying, what's up?
Yo, what's up, man?
You missed one topic, but we'll let you chime in on it before we get to the next one.
I appreciate it.
Rory McDonald and Jake Ellenberger are going to be fighting each other at UFC on Fox 8 on July 27th. What do you think about it?
Man, I'm telling you right now, I'm not like I guarantee you, Jake Ellenberger knocks out Rory McDonald. Like, I guarantee you. Rory McDonald is the most overrated. He has the most awkward stand-up ever. His stand-up is terrible. He's a strong kid. He's got good wrestling. But Ellenberger's too quick. He's too powerful. So, you know what I'm saying? He's going to try that awkward, whatever. You can't even call it an Ali shuffle because it's so terrible. Like, that's a disgrace to Ali. So, whatever the fuck that shit you want to call it, he's going to try to do that. Ellenberger's going to whoop whoop, left hook, drop him, game over.
Yeah, and that Ali shuffle. The only thing I really can't stand is the fact that he said he was mixing it up. That Ali shuffle is nothing but
that's like a senior in high school beating on like a middle schooler and then like taunting him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was BJ Penn, fat, retired, 155 pounds. Like, come on.
Exactly. Like 5 inches shorter than him.
Yeah.
Half the wingspan.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm sure you got a response to King Ying saying that Ho-He's got some shitty stand-up.
Look, his stand-up is great. If not top 5 in the welterweight division, then it's top 10. His stand-up is amazing.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Is there an effect? Yo, is there too much chlorine in the pool or something there, buddy? Like, are you doing too much? I don't know what to say. That's some crazy shit.
Who is Rory's most... this is a question directed at Yao. Who is Rory's most impressive win? Penn, Mills, Kyle? A 155er, a shitty Brit?
Who the hell is Kyle?
Or Pyle, sorry. Okay. I always mix up Pyle and Kyle because they're both named Mike.
Dude, I like Pyle, but he's definitely not a top 10 guy, even though he wants to fight a top 10 opponent.
And he's probably the best guy that Rory's beaten.
And he lost his last fight. Even though he got the decision, he would even agree that he lost the first 2 rounds of that fight against Story. So I don't even think Rory McDonald could beat Rick Story. Let's go ahead and break it down and put that out there. Rory McDonald could not beat him.
Yeah. Look, to be honest, they're all impressive. Because if you think about it, Rory beat all these guys when he was like 22, 23. Come on, these guys are like, nearing their prime. And Rory is like 22, 23 when he's beating these guys. But like I was saying, his striking is improving every time he fights. You saw it at the last time when he annihilated BJ Penn. And his shuffle, look, it's a work in progress.
He couldn't finish. Fat, 155 pounds. Excuse me. He couldn't finish BJ Penn. What do you mean annihilate? That's a disgrace.
And he
should get kicked out of the UFC.
Okay.
Yeah, but he didn't admit he was doing a showboat move. Which, I mean, doing the Ali shuffle, that That's not mixing levels. That's not doing anything but making yourself stationary and showing off.
No. The Ali Shuffle, he was just mixing things up. He wasn't showboating like I think Joe Rogan tried to say he was showboating.
Ariel, I think, said, and Joe both. And I was actually listening to the post fight interviews, and Ariel just kind of casually was like, "Yeah, what was with the Ali Shuffle?" And Rory's like, "That was not showboating. I'm very serious. I don't ever joke or showboat about anything, and that was not the Ali Shuffle. That was me just fighting."
It was so awkward that you can't even call it the Ali Shuffle. It was terrible. If it was anybody that wasn't a 155 fat person that should be retired, they would have fucked him up for doing it. It was stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like beating on your 5-year-old son. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Can I say
that
something,
you couldn't
people?
finish him. You can say whatever you like. Word on the street.
Listen, yeah, the fucking Hoagie McDonald, when he did the shuffle, I agreed with it, man. It was all over. Basically, I'm putting myself in his fucking shoes, Rory McDonald's shoes. I would be fucking insulted if BJ Penn showed up and didn't even fucking try to fight me. Honestly, I'd start doing the shuffle. I'd do the fucking moonwalk, dude, on his ass. I'd start doing the robot into an uppercut on his ass, alright? If he's gonna come into the ring with me and insult me and not even put up a fucking fight, it was obvious by that time BJ Penn just showed up to fucking just get a paycheck. He stepped in the ring, he took that fucking beating.
Hey, I gotta jump in, man. You can't disrespect BJ for that. He showed up to fight a guy that's
Did he really?
Yeah, dude, he went in there, even if he got his ass whooped, man. He went in there, dude. That's like, you know what I'm saying? That's like you being in 6th grade. And
BJ,
then
look,
okay.
I think he stepped in ready to fight, but when it comes down to it,
reality
it's not difficult to mentally break BJ Penn, and I hate to say it because Penn is literally my favorite fighter of all time. But you've seen it in the second fight against Frankie. You saw it in the fight against Nick Diaz. He broke mentally, and once he passed that spot, there was no turning around. And he just needs to move back to lightweight, and he is planning on doing that. I can't wait until he comes back because I really think he's going to be dynamite. But, Rory just broke him mentally. I think that was the thing, because there was so much shit-talking, and after that first round, after Rory just showed that he was a bigger guy, like he did against Nate, it's just like Nate trying to go to welterweight and getting crushed, then moving back down and getting a title shot. I mean, these Nate and BJ, neither of them had any business at welterweight.
It was bullshit.
Alright, I guess if nobody's got anything to add, we'll move on. We'll stay at the welterweights, though. We haven't talked about it yet. Berkman and Fitch. John Fitch, a huge favorite over Josh Berkman. Josh Berkman not only choked his ass out in 40 seconds of the first round, but as Steve Mazzagatti chilled out on a lawn chair and drank a pina colada, he choked John Fitch literally to death, and Jones Machida style let him go, and we all just saw that John Fitch was dead. Do you think it was an early stoppage? I think it was too close to really blame Mazzagatti. I mean, when Berkman stood up, Rutan was shocked. I mean, Rutan was the one calling the World Series of Fighting card. Rutan was shocked that Fitch was passed out. I mean, nobody thought Fitch was actually out. So, I don't know. I mean, it is Steve's job to tell if he's passed out or not and to get a response from John, but I think Bergman literally just felt the life go out of him like Yao has felt on thousands of animals, and then just let him go and took the incredible win. And so, A, do you think it was an early stoppage? B, do you want to see Berkman in the UFC? Ramses?
Oh, Jesus Christ. John Fitch, this is all I have to say. He, oh man, there's two possibilities. One of them is John Fitch has now reached bum status. The other possibility is that, I'm sorry to say it, but if it was going to come from anybody, it's going to come from me. Conspiracy theory, John Fitch took a dive to make the UFC look bad and make Bellator's fighters look that much better. Choking out a UFC top 10er in the fucking first few seconds of a first round. That makes Bellator fighters look a little bit more legit, let's face it. So there is a possibility that John Fitch did take a dive because that was really uncharacteristic. He is like the man who like isn't his submission defense like off the charts. And here we go in the first few seconds.
I don't think he's ever been finished.
So I call bullshit. Given his record and what was at stake. The UFC dropped him. Bellator's like, hey, you want to make 50 grand? Of course it was 30, but let's be real here, people. It was probably more like 50, if not more. He fucking just takes a dive, gets embarrassed, but guess what? There's a trilogy fight in it because they're now even, Josh Berkman and Fitch. That rubber match is all set to go. So what's the downside for Fitch? Yeah, he got embarrassed, but he got fired from the UFC. Like what was this embarrassment to him? He's gonna be back. He's gonna fight in Bellator. I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah, what's the truth?
All right, the truth is that I hate to doubt the word on the street from Ramses, but I do have to say this. I've watched that, well, if you even want to call it a fight, I've watched it so many times on YouTube, and I'm still confused and dumbfounded by why John Fitch didn't go to defend the choke. I know he knows how to defend the guillotine choke, but he still tried to pursue the double leg takedown, forcing Josh Berkman to really, cinch on that choke even more, and then John Fitch just falls right into it. Like, yeah. I know...
Yeah, sorry. So, you are a fighter. Like, wasn't that a rookie, 101 mistake that John Fitch made?
Yes. Like,
but you still doubt me.
It's hard. It's hard to say. But, I don't doubt you, Ramses. But what I'm saying is, that was a ridiculous mistake. I mean, you learn that in your first couple of months in jiu-jitsu. If someone has you in a guillotine choke like that, you don't still try to take them down. You're just going to fall into it. You try to defend the choke first. But he did that, and honestly, that was one of the most spectacular things I've ever seen in the UFC. Honestly, it was not the UFC, in MMA. That was better. That choke and the whole pass-out thing was better than John Jones and Lyoto Machida.
Hey, y'all, I got a question, because I didn't see it, and I was so bummed out about it because I was at work when I heard that I didn't go back and watch it. Whenever he put him in the guillotine and he was trying to take him down, did Berkman go to his back?
Yeah, he fell down, and I think he closed up his guard, and then he reopened it to the side, kind of. It was weird.
Could John have tried to go to the opposite side, with his body, or he just didn't try?
What he could have done was instead he grabbed Berkman's legs and pursued a double leg takedown. But what he should have done was fight the hands off of his neck.
All right.
I don't know if you're training with Steven Seagal, bro, or whatever, but from my understanding is the way that he had it sunk in, he already hurt Fitch, he landed a nice little combo, whatever. He had that sunk in, and he was going backwards with it. So the best there was no way he was going to maneuver out of there. So the best defense would be to try to go with it and land in a half guard and try to advance out of there. You know what I'm saying? But there was no way he would, how you're talking, he should have defended. There's no way he could have done that. I mean, I guess he could have tried to go back. I guess how do you see him defending that?
No,
it was already in motion.
No, look. When he was in the choke, John Fitch you could see him clearly go around Berkman's legs and try to take him down. If he can do that, that means he can...
But Berkman was also, he had the choke in, he was, pulling guard with it. So he was going with the momentum. You know what I'm saying? How would you have defended that?
You're right. Look, all he had to do is shift his weight back and fight the hands off of his neck. He didn't have to go with him and pursue the double leg. He obviously and blatantly pursues the double leg takedown. You can see it. Yeah. If he could do that,
Yeah,
then he
but the
can
way
sit
he had
back.
it sunk in, I think he was going out either way. I mean, he could have tried to go back and Berkman would have landed in mount, but it looked pretty tight. Like, that shit looked tight, dude. I don't think he was...
What I'll do is I'll try to find a fight where something like that happens, and I'll just show you what I mean.
I know what you're saying, but I'm saying that was pretty tight. Like, the choke was pretty tight in, and if he would have went... Like, if I was him, I probably would have went for the same thing. Like, try to fucking go with the momentum and just...
I'm about to download it and break it down.
Yo, has everyone gotten in their thoughts on Fitch versus Berkman? Ross?
Yeah, it's my turn.
Cocksuckers cutting off the best business.
I think
he's gonna make a poster of you sucking a big old cock or some shit.
Damn right. I think, first of all, props to King Ying. He got it right. He made the perfect call. He said Berkman was going to win this fight. Berkman won this fight, so props to you for that. As far as Berkman looked good. I got to give him credit. I hope he was paid more than his regular base salary, because he went in there. He basically did everything in the fight. There was nothing that he didn't do. He was every part of the fight. He reffed his own fight. He stopped his own fight. He deserves Steve Mazzagati's purse. He deserves everything like that. Mazzagati is terrible. Someone needs to throw him in the river and not find his body.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, he is just the worst ref possible next to Kim Winslow.
And Eve Levine.
But I gotta say, it was an amateur move by Fitch not properly defending that guillotine. I mean, going straight for that double leg. And he did end up in the half guard, and it was relatively open. And he did nothing. It leads me to believe that it was indeed a work.
It's a fucking work, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo, real quick. Like him saying it's a work, dude, he did go out pretty fucking quick. I'm watching it again, dude. He did go out pretty fucking fast. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe.
That works in either, like, argument, though. Like, if you're going to take a dive, like, you'll let yourself get choked out automatically.
Okay, so hold on. For Yale, I'm looking at this now. He was on his knees when the choke was sunk in. Berkman was going already back with it. So what was he going to do? Like, if there was a trampoline there and he could bounce back to his feet, yeah. But there was no way he was. Like, I don't see how and Ross too. How do you think he should have defended that? Like, I don't see it. Like, I'm looking at it now. He has it, boom, right away, and he goes, and Fitch even pulls back a little bit. Like, he was going to go to, like, let him get full mount, but then. I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't see how you.
I think Berkman just went all in with the fucking squeeze. He put everything into it. It was all or nothing, and that's why Fitch went out so fast. I just watched it.
Yeah, but do you see like how they're saying he should have defended? Like, I don't. Like, I've trained you. I just don't see how. Like, he was on his knees when he like put everything he had into it. Then he kind of goes back a little bit, like he's Berkman's pushing back, like he's going to go to full mount. And I mean, Fitch probably, he could have did that, but I think he would have went out anyway.
I don't think Fitch thought that Berkman was going to cinch it in so tight at that point.
Yeah,
I think that he got caught off guard because, like, normally you don't want to blow yourself out like all the way until you get really optimum position. Yeah. And I think that at that position he didn't think that he was going to squeeze all the way, and he just fucking let it loose. And Berkman's a strong dude, like. Watching his last couple of fights, I mean, he can fucking throw punches, and he's pretty cut up in good shape.
Yeah, Berkman wasn't fucking around there, but with Mazzagati, watching it again, I think he's getting way too much heat for this. Like, could you imagine if he would have stopped it? I don't know. There was no way to tell he was out. I mean, I guess he should have been closer to the
on the other side.
Yeah.
Yo, we have one more topic, unless anyone else has any other topics. If you do, just think of it, and I'll throw it around, ask if anyone's got any more topics after this. We won't be doing a game, A, because it's getting late, and B, because Ross Finkelstein declined to be a part of it. I was thinking of, look, Everyone's calling Ross Finkelstein a Googler, so what's a way to even the playing field? Let everybody Google, and Ross cannot deal with everyone being on the same playing field as him. He actually said if he wins, all it does is prove he's good at Googling, which goes against what he wants to put out there. So Ross refusing to be a part of the Google Championship, which I can't understand. We'll think of something next week maybe, and we'll definitely see him either defend or host to see who will fight him for the belt tomorrow night on the Word on the Street podcast with Gilbert Jamal Smith. Yao's got a topic after this. If anyone else on the call or anyone listening, there's only 5 of us now, so you can call in 213-457-3380 if you got a topic. The last one I've got, though, is the dress code. The UFC apparently adopting a new dress code policy. No more guys wearing board shorts at press conferences and flip-flops. You gotta wear pants. You gotta wear shoes. This is similar to, we were talking about the NBA a little bit earlier. The NBA put in a dress code a little while ago, and now the UFC is doing the same. Simply put, should these guys have the right to wear whatever the fuck they want, or should they be held up to the guidelines of a dress code, Ramses?
Let's be honest, man. You have to have a dress code, because honestly, well, these people, when you sign up to be a fucking UFC fighter, anytime you appear in public, give an interview, you're signing autographs, you gotta wear your sponsor's shirts. So, I don't even know why the fuck the UFC is like enforcing some sort of like standard dress code. The dress code is you wear your fucking sponsor's shirts at every turn. So I don't even know what this is about. Maybe there are some bums, like some holdouts, that just weren't playing games, so now they have to under contract. But yeah, basically everyone knows the UFC fighter dress code. You wear your sponsor's shit at all times. So yeah, right. I don't know what this shit's all about. Yeah.
Well, we have gotten a few awkward stare downs, like I think Bisping Belfort. Bisping was wearing that weird red suit. Belfort was wearing his sponsor shirt. Penn versus McDonald. Rory was in a suit. Penn's wearing his sponsor shit. I mean, it's happened many times. Jones versus Shogun. It looks awkward when two dudes are staring off, and one dude is dressed formally with like, a jacket, a vest, a dress shirt, a tie, all buttoned up, wearing pants and nice shoes, and the other dude's literally wearing a t-shirt and shorts and flip-flops, at least for the sake of ending that fucking awkwardness. And we did switch Yao and King Ying for this topic, because King Ying was tired being last place. So the order for this one will be Ramses, Keith, Allen, Ross, and then Yao to anchor it out. Keith, what do you think about this dress code? Is it something the UFC should do or not?
No, I don't think they should, man. I think, like, obviously they shouldn't be able to wear, like, some goofy shit, like something like kill gays or something, like, but, I mean...
I'm wearing that right now.
Yeah, I mean, I got my shirt in there too, but I don't know, man. That's like, people are individuals, man. I hated that shit in school. Like, wear whatever the fuck you want to wear as long as it ain't, like, crazy. So, I mean, can Silva still wear his pink polos?
I believe he can. He can
wear it underneath his jacket.
I'm gonna wear my pink polo, and I'm gonna wear my Gucci glasses, and I'm gonna wear my alligator skin shoe.
Fancy boy.
I'm a fancy boy.
It's actually a pretty good impression.
Thank you, sir.
Chill and no respect me. Chill and no respect the fans. Chill and need a train. No more talking, a train. Alan, what do you think about UFC dress code?
I don't know. I think it's like part of the thing where they want their fighters to be taken more seriously in the mainstream, maybe. Because whenever other organizations or, you have them on Fox and you see them and they're all dressed down and everything for all the different media commitments and stuff that they have, the UFC might not be taken as seriously, because like when you see NBA players or you see football players coming, they're always dressed, to impress. They've got their shirts and ties, so maybe that might be something to do with, why they want to change to have dress code. Personally, I think it's bullshit, because like what you said, you're always, supposed to be wearing your sponsor's gear, and, let's be honest, they're UFC fighters, they're cage fighters. You know, they live in a gym. You know, how often do most of these guys even put a suit on or any dress clothes, much less own them, unless, you know, they go out all the time. So personally, I think it's bullshit. I don't think they should have a dress code. I think it's retarded. But from a business perspective standpoint, I can understand why they would want to do this.
For sure. Ross?
Dress code is definitely necessary. You can't look like a bum at these formal events. I mean, we got to try and take this shit seriously. Come on, guys. Let's fucking make this look good. Let's not look like bums. Let's not have all these fighters look like shit. Yeah.
Yo, if anybody is the king of aesthetics, making shit look good, you need to look no further than his posters. Those shits are usually perfect. Actually, I just in the Skype chat put in a laughable poster I just saw for UFC on Fox Sports 1. Yeah, you are the anchor, and actually I think was your topic actually talking about the UFC dress code?
It was, in fact.
What are your thoughts on it as a future member of the UFC?
Yeah, it's actually very interesting because it's something that definitely needs to be enforced because of, like you said, where it just looks awkward sometimes. And these guys are professional athletes, so they need to dress professionally. But at the same time, like Ramsey's brought up, you want to wear your sponsor's clothing. You know, if you look at Chael, I'm sure he'd love to wear like a suit and tie or whatever to like press conferences, but he knows that tap out money is coming when he wears his tap out t-shirt. So it's weird, and I'm really curious to see how it's going to pan out as far as, you know, the fighters getting their sponsorship money, which is like a huge part of their payout when they're fighting. So I'm curious to see how it's going to play out.
Uncle Tom.
For sure. Wow. Wasn't saying for sure that, was saying for sure the topic. But yo, last topic, we promised you one last one, so we will talk about it. Not really too much. I thought about talking about UFC on Fox Sports 1, the card in Boston that temporarily looked like it might be the second UFC card to get canceled because they out of nowhere started talking about needing social security numbers from foreign fighters, but it looks like that's gotten squared away. There might be one person who might not be able to fight on the card, but it's looking good. But I do want to talk about final topic of the night. Hector Lombard confirms that he's going to try and drop to welterweight, which he mentioned before. I said I thought that was crazy. He's already pretty cut up at 185, and dropping another weight class down might be a little too much. But apparently he wants Nate. Nate's a tough fight for anyone, but stylistically, Nate's not the kind of guy that's going to quell you clinching or grappling, so it is a fight where Lombard can show off some of that striking, but he's got to watch out as well because Nate packs a punch too. What do you think about this? A, what are your thoughts on Lombard's drop to welterweight? B, Marquardt versus Lombard. Who you got, Ramses?
Yeah, fuck, I'm done with people pretending like dropping a weight class is like some sort of magic trick. And it's like some sort of key to dominating in that division. No, people, you're starving yourself and dehydrating your body when you shouldn't be. You're going down to an unnatural weight. People are acting like it's a fucking advantage. Like, oh man, he's going to drop down 170. He's going to destroy. No, he's not. All right, he looked fucking slow and uneasy and already drained at 185. It's not going to happen, not with this guy. All right? Fuck. Man, look, I'm not no homo, but Hector Lombard, man, holy shit. Like, how huge was his ass in that last fight? Like, the size of his ass alone. It was ridiculous.
No homo.
You can't drop that kind of weight, like, by water. All right? So he's got to diet his ass off. And he's going to pretend like he's going to be healthy enough to fight after a weight cut after this. No, people. Bet against Hector Lombard. He's fucking done. He got his paycheck, $300,000 per fight. He lived up to his contract. Now he's just shuffling around trying to stay in the business. He's done. Word on the street.
Damn, really quickly, sorry to cut off Keith, who's next. But if you're not following Jamal Smith, MMA, Kelvin Gastelum, and Coach Jamie Huey. You're missing out on an epic rap battle going on right now. Gilbert just tweeted at Kelvin. He tweeted, "Bro, you spit duds. I'm a stud. I got muscles. You got flub. Rub-a-dub-dub. I finish cats with lyrical subs. Bro, just quit. Your raps are shit. When I spit, you know it's legit. I got too much wit. I have pecs. You have bitch tits." That was
Oh my god.
That was at Kelvin Gastelum. At Jamie Huey, he said, "Ha, you're a joke with no hope. You must be smoking too much dope to think you can mess with the GOAT." And then he said, "Go hate, but I don't care. At least I can grow some hair. Bald ass baby, you know you want to be a lady. It's all gravy."
Can I just announce something? On Tuesday's Word on the Street podcast, we are going to have...
Tuesday or Thursday?
Tuesday. Tomorrow's too soon. So it's going to be Tuesday. Well, Gilbert is going to be on tomorrow, Thursday's Word on the Street podcast. But Tuesday, I am already working behind the scenes, given the this rap battle event going on. We are going to have KG, Kelvin Gastelum, Gilbert Smith, Jamie Huey, possibly Clinton Hester and Jimmy Quinlan to do a live rap battle on the fucking air. Word on the Street.
Damn, yeah, they're fucking going hard.
If you need a replacement, I'll hop in.
All right, we got King Ying to rep Philly. I don't know where Jamal's fighting out of. You got Coach out of Oregon, Kelvin out of Arizona.
Jamal's out of Denver,
it's
bro.
Gonna be deep. Oh, all right, yeah. No, his next fight's gonna be in Denver, but he lives in Denver.
That's
too.
where he lives.
Fuck yeah, representing Denver, my new home next month. Shit yeah. Yo, Keith, you are up. What do you think about all this shit revolving around Hector Lombard moving down to welterweight and fighting Nate Marquardt?
Yeah. Listen, I think he should stay at 185, man. I don't think he looked bad. I think people just overhyped him. Like, he's a good fighter. He lost close fight. Well, I don't know. He lost decisions to Boch and Okami, but they're still, like, they're good fucking fighters. Like, he's a good fighter. He should stay at 185 and just, you know what I'm saying? It's all about matchups. Like, Okami was a terrible matchup for him. Like, I just think he should stay at 185. Like, cutting to 170, dude, he's a big fucking dude. Like, that's a lot. And he's not fat. That's muscle. And that's hard to lose, man. Like, he's gonna have to, that's gonna be rough. I think that when he does I think Marquardt's gonna fuck him up, dude. I really do. I think he should just stay at 185. But yeah.
Yeah.
He's already said that he normally walks around at 220 pounds, and at the moment he is already weighing at 190. It's like 192, I think, or something is what he walks around at now. So I looking at his frame, and I've gone from 160 pounds all the way up to 193 at one point. You know, it depends on your body size, and he's not a real big guy. He's only 5'10". Yeah, he is cut up at 185, you know, being that big. But, you know, comparatively, you know, if you look at the other guys that he fights, his frame is nowhere near the size of those guys. Those guys are just stronger than him. That's what he gets beat on, is man strength. Like, they just outmuscle him just because of how big they are and how much naturally stronger they are without, you know, any type of working out or, you know. Do I think that he's going to do well at 170 pounds? I don't know, because, you know, he's fast at 185, and if he moves down to 170, you know, you don't know how much of that speed he's going to retain losing muscle mass. You know, they train fast twitch, you know, muscle reaction, and if you lose some of that muscle, you might lose some of that reaction time. So, you know, he could even slow down. So I have no idea how that fight's going to turn out. We'll all have to wait and see, really.
Ross.
I think Lombard is scared of Patrick Cote. And the reason why is because the original plan was to do Tough Canada versus Australia with Cote and Lombard as coaches. And then Lombard was a little iffy on going down to 170. So they picked Kyle Noak instead. And then he decides this week, a week later, oh, I'm officially moving down to 170. I'm sorry, but something's a little shady there.
Something shady, cocksuckers. Yo, last bit, unless any of you other cocksuckers got a topic, we'll throw it to you out.
Yeah, this is just silly. I don't know why Hector Lombard. The only reason I think he's dropping to 170 is to get a fresh, a new start in a division, because he really didn't do that well at middleweight. So he's dropping down, and I still feel like Nate Marquardt will be able to outwork him and maybe even finish him. So this is just...
Is that because he trains at TriStar?
Half, yeah.
That bias again.
Fucking backing up TriStar and the Black Zillions no matter what happens. I'd hate to see a Black Zillion take on somebody from TriStar. We might have some issues going. Fucking let's wrap this shit up, everybody. And thank you again for listening. We'll do it in the same order. Ramses, what's the word on the street? Where can we find the podcasts, and who have been the recent guests?
Look, people, god damn it, I hate to say, tomorrow we were gonna have, no bullshit, rest in peace, James Gandolfini was gonna be on the show.
Lined up. Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately, he chose today to fucking die. Thanks a lot, James. But rest in peace. So we will have Gilbert Jamal Smith on the show tomorrow. Just follow me on Twitter, The Jimmy Show.
And that is going to be at, I believe, 10 o'clock Eastern, right?
Yes, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 p.m. Central Time. Well, it's all dependent on you, Jake. Can you confirm what time it is?
Yeah, I can. It's an hour. Ross, before we get to Keith and Yao for shoutouts, Ross, you have a call out or some shit? What's going on?
I got something to say. You see, past couple of weeks, I've been taking a lot of shit for my title defenses. I have non-stop disputes with everybody over the legitimacy of my belt. So tomorrow on the Word on the Street podcast, I am calling out the man that everybody believes I am in cahoots with. I am calling you out, Ramses, one-on-one. You choose the rules. It doesn't matter to me. I want to fight you.
Holy shit. Yeah, this is the problem.
This is
the
like
problem.
Anderson Silva calling out Dana White.
Yep, when you run a dojo, inevitably, like, one of the students tries to call you out and you gotta slap them down. Ross, you don't even know what kind of war you just signed up for, son. You're about to find out. I accept, and I'm ready.
You don't know what you just got yourself into, Ross. King Ying, where do we find you on Twitter? What's going on with the MMA Moguls, and where can we find that shit on YouTube?
Yeah, definitely check it out. I mean, we just put up our 4th episode. We got like a couple hundred views on it already. So check it out on YouTube. It's The MMA Moguls. I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to it, and you could follow us on Twitter at The MMA Moguls. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Check them out. Alan?
I don't have any podcast. I just like to call into these and have a little fun with you guys. Only social media tool that I have is at Westland Eagle, AH. So if you want to see me retweet a whole bunch of Chelsea and shit and fanboy it up, yeah, you can catch me on there.
Check them on there. And Ross Finkelstein, what's going on? Tell us where we find you on Twitter. And when are you going to get a job with the UFC, man? You're making some dope posters.
I don't know when that's going to happen, but I do know that you can catch me tomorrow on the Word on the Street podcast, beating the shit out of Ramses for the first time ever, live and in person, ladies and gentlemen. You can find me on Twitter at Ross Finkelstein. I just released a new Silva Weidman poster, so check that out. Stay tuned.
Damn, Ramses, any response to that?
Ah, man, what do you say to a man who is on death row? What do you say?
That's true.
Say your prayers and take your vitamins, Ross.
This is like some Green Mile shit.
You woke up the sleeping giant.
Speaking of the Green Mile, my favorite character in the Green Mile is the black guy. Yao, where can we find you on Twitter and Instagram?
Wow.
Yeah. Follow me on Twitter, guys. I'll follow you back. at Yao_the truth. That's YAO_ the truth. And anybody else, we have a lot of fans, MMA fans, martial arts fans. If anyone is competing at Grappler's Quest on July 20th, give me a follow. I want to see what you're doing too, and follow the MMA podcast, like them on Facebook, subscribe to them on YouTube, and follow them on Twitter. You can listen to past and, present, even future podcasts on YouTube.
Oh, shit.
Even future shit. Listen to it. Subscribe on iTunes. Just search The MMA Podcast. Like you mentioned, follow us on Twitter, The MMA Podcast, or visit TheMMAPodcast.com. If you ever want to call into a show, the number is 213-457-3380. Thanks again for listening. We'll catch you next week. We love doing this. We've loved the last year of this shit. Thank you, everyone who's been a part of it, everyone who's listened. It's been a great journey. We'll see you guys next week. We gone.